Hi, Eli Qianhui. How are you?
Hello. Hi. We're doing good.
Good. Well, thank you so much for making time for this short mercy update. So today we're featuring international outreach, and I have two questions to ask you. So the first question, could you guys share with us how you guys came to 10th and get to know each other, and what role international outreach play in that?
Okay. So I came to 10th back in 2008 when I came to Philadelphia for my college education. And at that time, I knew a family who attended 10th, and they brought me to church every Sunday. I was a Christian back home in Singapore already, but that's how I got to know 10th Church and got in touch with the International Fellowship. And so I've been attending 10th since 2008, and most recently I'm kind of in charge of the events committee at International's Outreach.
My background, I grew up in a missionary family. We were based in Senegal, West Africa, then in London, England. Especially in London, my home church was very mixed, a lot of different types of people in that church. When I came to the States and when I came to Philadelphia, I was looking for a mixed church, something that's different types of people from all over the world, ideally, because that's just the family I was renting from. They were Christians and they were going to 10th, so I would go with them. 10th. I'm not sure how I found out about IO. It was called TIFF at the time, and I believe they were meeting in the hotel where it currently meets in Fellowship Hall, and I started coming to TIFF, as it was called then. Obviously found out a lot more. I just enjoyed that congregation a lot more than the main congregation because it was more mixed. That was more akin to what I was used
And you guys got to know each other there, right?
to. Slowly, over time. It wasn't like straight away. It took time, got to know each other a little better, became more involved with activities.
And your status right now?
Oh, we got married
2 years ago.
about 2 years ago.
Great, thank you. All right, so now could you guys share or give like an overview of international outreach events throughout the year and how these events play a role in our outreach to internationals?
Okay, so I'll start since I'm in charge of the events. Throughout the year, we usually have several major events. Starting off in around January, February, we usually have the Lunar New Year party, as it is a very big celebration for a lot of our students who are from the Asia continent. And so we do host this event and try to attract students from various backgrounds and internationals who are in Philadelphia to join our event. So we usually have a dinner with program, some special music and games in the fellowship hall. And then we also have our annual retreat in April, which has been held at Ocean City, New Jersey in the past couple of years, where we would join the Hispanic congregation that Enrique pastors over there. And we just have a great time at the beach and just spending a weekend away from the city and retreat from the busyness of our lives. And then usually in the summertime, we have a trip to the beach for barbecue events. And yeah, the past 2 years we went for hikes as a group.
Apple orchard.
And then usually in December, we'll have a big Christmas party kind of to end off the year as well. And similarly to the Lunar New Year party, we'll have games and singing, carol music, and a lot of different activities where we get together with internationals as well. And Christmas party is a special event where we can then really share the good news of Christ coming to earth to people who've never heard of his story before in their country. So these events like serve as a opportunity for us to have fun and enjoy each other's company, but also creates a casual setting where Christians can or 10th members can share the gospel to non-believers who may be new to Christianity since they arrived in this country. So, but because of COVID, we haven't had any events this year, sadly. So because we are reaching out to a group of people who may not know any of our Bible studies or our ESL classes, they might just hear about it through a friend or through announcement boards in their universities. So there are a lot of people who we will meet for the very first time at these events. It is very difficult to reach them during this COVID time where we're all distant from each other. So hopefully, as things start to open up more, maybe we have a social distance socializing event before the year end.
I actually like to add another question. Could you guys share a little bit about the small group in Philadelphia House? Maybe Eli, since you are leading.
Yeah. There's a small group that meets at Philadelphia House in Overbrook, in Philadelphia. We meet in this upstairs room, hosted by a lady called Mim Stern. She's 94? 93, 94. You wouldn't realize it talking to her because she has more energy than I wish I ever could. Saying how young she is despite her actual age. A handful of us who've been meeting there for quite a few years now. And it's a bit of a revolving door. We get a lot of seekers. We get a number of people who are not Christian but are interested, intrigued. Different students from other countries who have come to the study over the years, on and off. Even though it's not very big, it seems to have a decent outreach with it. Right now, we're about, I guess there's 6 of us, 6 of us right now, so it's a little small. We're currently meeting through Zoom, obviously, because of the social distancing orders. Can't actually meet at Philadelphia House right now. But we've kept this going, and we've been very faithful and committed to it. It's been a really good growing experience for us. It's always good to be able to grow when you get to share the gospel with people who aren't familiar with it, people who it's not just understood. You find things that you take for granted with the gospel, things that you've always just understood. When they're questioned or when they're not understood by somebody else, it forces you to rethink what they actually mean. It forces you to really think, what does it mean for Jesus to actually die? The concept that God can die is hugely problematic for a lot of people. We take it for granted a lot of times, those of us who have grown up in the Christian faith. That's really good. That really helps us strengthen our own faith, and it helps us to explain these things to other people. It helps us with our outreach. Even though it's just this small little Bible study in the corner of a house in the corner of Philadelphia.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your involvement with the ministry and for your ministry. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Paid for my sins and brought me to